All right, let's dive into the Lamborghini Temerario. Now, this is the car that's stepping in to replace the legendary Huracán. And honestly, it's been pretty controversial. On paper, a lot of purists were, well, they were worried. But getting behind the wheel, that turned out to be a completely different story. A much, much faster one.
You know, the review we're looking at here starts with something pretty surprising. You'd think a new Lambo would get nothing but pure excitement, right? But no. In this case, there was some real skepticism. It kind of sets the stage for this journey from serious doubt to just pure, unfiltered shock. So why the cold shoulder? What was the deal? Well, if you just looked at it on paper, the Temerario seemed like a downgrade for Lamborghini. I mean, the spec sheet alone was enough to make fans everywhere just kind of raise an eyebrow and go, really? Okay, so here's the heart of the issue, right? That incredible, soulful, naturally aspirated V10, the absolute soul of the Huracán, was gone. And in its place, a smaller, turbocharged, electrified V8. For the purists, this was a tough pill to swallow. It felt like trading a full-blown orchestra for a synthesizer. And it wasn't just the engine either. The worries went deeper. A silent EV mode on a Lamborghini? Really? Then there was the styling, which some people thought was a little, well, tame. And even the name. To some, Temerario sounded more like a high-end watch than a raging bull. So yeah, the case against this car was definitely building up. But then he actually drove it. And in that one single explosive moment, every single argument you could make on paper, every single doubt, it was all just vaporized by sheer, brutal, unbelievable force. I mean, you can just feel the shock in those words. That's not someone just describing speed. That's the sound of a deeply held belief being absolutely shattered. The performance wasn't just fast. No way. It was on a whole other level. And it all kicks off with this absolutely staggering number, 920 PS. That's metric horsepower. Now, to put that into perspective for you, that is more power than the legendary McLaren P1 hypercar. So we're not just talking about a supercar here. This thing is basically a spaceship. And that relentless power is backed up by some seriously hard numbers. We're talking elite-level stuff. 0 to 62 miles per hour in just 2.7 seconds. Think about that. That's not just fast. That is a mind-bending, I think my insides just moved kind of experience. And the thing is, the power just doesn't stop. Get this, on a stretch of track where the fastest this reviewer had ever gone before was 185 miles an hour, the Temerario just blew right past 200, and it didn't even feel like it was breaking a sweat. So the big question is, how on earth did Lamborghini pull this off? Because it's not as simple as just slapping some turbos and a battery on an engine. Oh no, there's some real, genuine engineering magic going on here that makes this thing an absolute masterpiece. Okay, check this out, because this is the incredible truth of it. The new 4-liter V8 engine, all by itself, makes an astonishing 800 horsepower. Let me say that again, by itself. That's 160 horsepower more than the legendary V10 it replaced. The whole hybrid system, that's just the ridiculously powerful icing on an already insane cake. And that hybrid system, it is so clever. See, its main job isn't even just adding more power. It's all about giving you instant throttle response. Those electric motors fill in all the torque down low, which completely erases any hint of turbo lag. It just makes the power feel totally immediate and completely endless. So yeah, the hybrid tech is brilliant. But the real game changer, the thing that makes this car feel so special, it's something baked right into the DNA of the internal combustion engine itself. And here it is, a 10,000 RPM redline. That number is just, it's almost unheard of for a turbocharged V8. See, most turbo engines give you all their punch way down low in the rev range. But this one begs you. It rewards you for wringing its neck and revving it all the way to its absolute limit. And the actual experience of chasing that 10,000 RPM redline, feeling that power build and build to the screaming peak is described as, well, nothing short of a drug. It's addictive. It's insane. It completely reprograms your brain on what a turbocharged engine is supposed to feel like. So where does this all land in the final verdict? Well, that initial cold feeling, that skepticism, it was totally replaced by this white-hot adoration. And it leads to a conclusion that is genuinely surprising. And look, the car's brilliance goes way beyond just straight-line speed. It's not just a one-trick pony. Despite having a hybrid system, it feels incredibly agile, not heavy at all. The steering is light but super precise, the brakes are just immense, and the gearbox gives you that satisfying thump in the back with every single shift. It's just the whole package. It's so confidence-inspiring. Remember that early concern about the sound? Well, that gets totally resolved too. At low revs, sure, it can be pretty quiet, but you put this thing in Corsa mode, that's the super aggressive track setting, and you chase that red line and it absolutely transforms. It becomes a proper screamer, all thanks to that high-revving flat-plane crank V8. It's like it has two personalities, and trust me, the wild side is pure, uncut Lamborghini.
And all of this leads to a statement that is, well, it's bold. It's almost heresy in the car world. After feeling the power, the instant response, and that incredible redline, the reviewer comes to a stunning conclusion. This new engine isn't some kind of compromise. It's a genuine, honest-to-goodness improvement over one of the greatest engines ever made. And this really brings us to the ultimate takeaway here. The Temerario is being called a watershed moment for Lamborghini. And what that means is it perfectly blends everyday usability with that savage, untamed performance that we all know and love from the brand. It's basically setting a whole new benchmark for the company. Which leaves us with this final, really thought-provoking idea. That whole journey from feeling slightly cold about the car to calling it the best on sale, well, it's complete. In the end, the Temerario didn't just replace the Huracán. It forged a totally new identity for itself. And it proved that even for a legendary brand like Lamborghini, the future can be even more exciting than the past.